businessmen and women. Move out of the darkness, follow the light. Come sell your business with us today. Home Digital FM, let your customers know what you're offering. Be on top of your competitors. Home Digital FM, we will help you stand out. Come advertise with us today for all your businesses. We offer live program coverage both on Facebook Live and on the radio. Exos to sell your products and services. The media is in control. Tell your customers when, where, and how to meet you through Home Digital FM. Don't worry. Do your business. We will sell you out. Call us today on 734-3125 or 200-5770 620-1413 766-8394. Home Digital FM. Follow the light.
Bendula londol ni mirol ni hakilol be benna jannatu
ebe ba dépense la e muso dépense
ba juma
muso wulu
andu ñing sali kay sali je ñame sali
hewo bay ku do dum na
hewo soto da daw sali se ma
sali ñaajata eko Sadio la ñaadi
yalo ngi jalo ko ni ko yala ni mbe ko ra ni waga bala Sadio kino ko kuna
Home Digital FM der Sara Brikama. Kala mo ganduda ada wada business ayeyat wala ka sodallo yetto Home Digital FM min balla on njeyon business aji mundi minen on dañani ko wayno radio talk show ngaron Home Digital FM njodo don jewdi don e yimbe be kala non ono business aji mundi jaari so njidi advertisement minen onin badana e kala ko ganduda don jidi halan jamaa o den gande ko media o jogi fof den ar Home Digital FM kala na client be mabe hodo gonda hono be badata ha be baama yotto through Home Digital FM continue business aji mundi min jeena ondi ko yaabi saydi hebde ko laabi wodo call 734-3125 wala 200-5770 620-1413 766-8394 Home Digital FM njotto de don business aji mon din jaha yeso.
Are you unable to tune into our radio frequency from where you live? Don't worry, the problem is over. Simply download Home Digital FM radio app on your Android phone or devices including laptops or computers from Google Play Store or App Store and enjoy listening to excellent broadcasts from your number one radio station in the Gambia, Home Digital FM Radio. Don't miss your favorite programs from Home Digital FM app, even from whereas with limited mobile networks. In fact, using the app does not use much megabytes. Home Digital FM, the voice of the people.
Listeners and viewers listening to us from everywhere in the world, or if you are viewing us, we are live here in Brikama at our main studio in Brikama, Nema. This is Mengbe Kering TV, and of course, Home Digital FM on 99.9. We welcome you to this very, very special broadcast. Special in the sense, we have someone very, very important with us in the studio today. And of course, we'll be here up till 9 o'clock, inshallah, to discuss on very, very, very pertinent and important issues. My name is Ali Fall, but before we go into the program proper, I would have loved to introduce him to you, our viewers and our listeners. But you know what? I will just allow him do that for us. Good morning, sir, and welcome to Mengbe Kering TV and Home Digital FM.
Thank you very much, Aliu, and thank you for having me at your radio.
All right. Tell us your name and portfolio. I want you to break the news yourself so the listeners and viewers can know that I am vindicated that we have someone very important with us in the studio.
Thank you. I am CORRADOPAMPALONI. I am the ambassador of the European Union for the Gambia.
There you go. We have the EU ambassador with us in the studio today, and we'll be looking at so many issues. When we talk about the EU, is the European Union. And of course, history lane can tell us that a lot has transpired between the Gambia and the European Union. This is why all the time we'll have ambassadors in. You remember, there was an ambassador who just left not long ago, and he's been replaced by a gentleman here. So we want to thank you so much for tuning in, and tell a friend that the EU ambassador is live on Mengbe Kering TV and Home Digital FM. Badingol ngal kontong Home Digital FM and Mengbe Kering TV. Bi akitanya kontan kubati nga lunta ambassador jang mialonko atelo European Union la ambassador ti Mengbe Siri Gambia jang. European Union nu kafulo mialon ko wolo Europe la nyin kafuba inin Gambia la nyo moyo mu kulti mialon ko tari koto ku merimba wala na wati e ka mosudo jam minka tare to yala jang minka kela ambassador woton kondanda bake burbi nga European Union la ambassador sodo jang mialon ko abina ani mole kacha mimbe dinding European Union ela lodlala nyimbanko kan adika munduku sifalle kejang anini Gambia nyo moyo wobe tembe jumalto. Yes, like I was telling our local listeners, we want everyone to know what is happening. So this is why we did a recap of what we just said in English to our local listeners. European Union is Gambia's biggest donor partner, with two countries share a long history in trade, tourism, budget support, and over the past 5 years, job creation, democratic transition since 2017. In 2018, EU co-chaired the biggest conference on the Gambia that pledged $1.8 billion towards the financing of the Gambia's National Development Plan, NDP, 2018-2081. Today, the EU ambassador to the Gambia, CORRADOPAMPALONI, is our guest, and we will be discussing various EU-funded projects currently in the areas of food security, climate change, among others. He arrived in the country when COVID-19 had already hit and restrictions in force. He just began visiting some of these projects funded by the EU to gather first-hand information and interact with the beneficiaries. Yes, so, Your Excellency, you came when COVID was at its height in the country, and restrictions were also at their greatest. That deprived you going around to see projects being funded by the European Union. How far? Presently, how far have you gone?
Well, as you say, indeed, I arrived in January when the COVID was at its highest, and every activity was a little frozen, if you want. I, of course, met my relevant partners, and I started my tours, but it was extremely slow. Now I started a tour to understand on the ground what we are doing. So let's say that I went as far from the bridge, from the Senegambia bridge, that we contributed to fund, to the wrestling activities that are both here in buffer zone and in the Jolly area. Yesterday I was there. But passing by all our agriculture program, our security program, etc. So our portfolio is really big, and we try to cover the needs that the Gambia call us to cover.
Beautiful. Let's look at the relation between the two, the European Union and the Gambia. First of all, what prompted this relationship?
I beg your pardon?
What brought about the relationship between the European Union and the Gambia?
Well, the European Union is probably the biggest diplomatic representation in the continent. We have embassy basically in almost every single state of Africa.
Okay.
We started our relations with cooperation, technician and cooperation. Then also following the history of the European Union that changed the status and the legal status, we became from a technical partner to a diplomatic one and a political partner.
Okay. Okay, this is awesome. Now let's look at the areas that you are intervening, the areas that you are supporting the Gambia. Precisely, we know you are into climate change, you are into security reform, you are into all whatnot, democratization and all that. What criteria do you use to select these areas that you want to support?
Well, the country has a national development plan.
Yes, the NDP.
And we engage with the relevant partners, with the relevant ministries, to discuss on their national development plan.
Okay.
And from there, we agree on 3 or sometimes 4 main pillars of intervention. These are always agreed with the authorities.
Okay, so it's not the EU imposing on the country that this is where we want to support, but you discuss and agree on points. All right, let's look at security. For me, security is very important in any country. How do you intervene when it comes to security?
Well, security sector reform, in reality, what we call it, is a very important sector for the country. And when this new government came in, we discussed what were the main part of the security sector that they were interested in. Basically, we cover training in different areas. We had the project of training with the Navy. We have project of training with the police. But we also participated to the National Security Advisor creation and reform. We cooperated with the country with the National Security Strategy. And of course, we also are also behind together with not only with the government, but with other partners, behind the analysis of what the need is to build a better army and more efficient army.
Okay. Yes, these can be very good agreements and can be very good ideas in trying to transform the security sector, to professionalize it and all whatnot. As far as the security sector is concerned, how far have you gone with government in transforming the security sector of the Gambia?
Well, I would say only one thing. The Gambia now has a national security strategy. So this is something that they didn't have before.
Okay.
And is a very important document.
Okay.
And transformation will follow. As for the training, we did a lot of things. And the other day I was opening a center, a global center for sharing let's say, encrypted information with the Interpol. And this is part of the Gambia being an international player and sharing information with the international authorities in security. Okay. So we have achieved a lot of things. Of course, there are still things that need to be addressed, but we went pretty far.
By way of assessing and by way of grading it, out of 10, how far do you think you've gone with the government in making sure the sector is reformed, that is security?
Out of 10, I would say we still need 4.5.
4.5.
Yeah, we are at a little bit beyond the half of what is needed to. It's a very complex reform. You cannot achieve it in really one day. Okay. It's something that but I think that the Gambia now has already a better dispositive. It's a very good dispositive, and I think that we can all rejoice that we have been so far.
Okay. By way of last question on the security sector, what were some of the constraints that you encountered during the process in trying to reform the security sector?
Well, the Gambia passed from an authoritarian state to a democratic one.
Okay.
So one thing is an army that serves one dictator, and the other is an army that serves a democratic state.
Okay.
So this is only this entails a very big changing. So all the rules that were ruling police and army before now have been changed. The army and the police and whatever is security must also live together with human rights, for example. And you know that Independent Human Rights Commission has been created also, and we also participated in that. So it's not, you cannot see the security sector alone now anymore. It is interacting with a lot of stakeholders and with the civil society.
Okay. Thank you so much, His Excellency. Listeners and viewers, to just remind you, we are live here at Home Digital FM and Mengbe Kering TV, and we have the EU ambassador with us in the studio this morning to talk about issues pertaining to the Gambia and the European Union. Yes, His Excellency, now we will shift to agriculture, because we realize it's also an area that the European Union has special interest in and even funding it. Why agriculture for the Gambia?
Well, the Gambia until now has an agriculture that is typical of a poor country, is called subsistence agriculture. So you have in your garden a couple of banana trees and you use them a little bit to eat, and what is left over you sell it. Whilst the Gambia needs to transform this into an industrial activity whereby, for example, the production of bananas, but I could say onions. Yesterday I was in one of our project that is seeking to produce onions also during the rainy season. So generation of income is very important for the Gambia, and because agriculture is one of the top activities of the Gambia, where the most skills can be perceived, we have agreed to help to transform the production of the Gambia in a production that is economically viable and that is also climate change resistant.
Oh, okay. Yes, like you talked about agriculture. Initially, we've been told that it is the backbone of the country, that is the Gambia. You talked about subsistence agriculture. How are you going to come in to make sure that it's not only by farming and eating, but like you said, it becomes a trade where income is also generated? How are you going to do that?
Yes, there are many ways to tackle that.
Okay.
One is, let's start with training.
Okay.
Farmers need training to upgrade their skills. We are thinking also of women as one of the most important factors, if not the most important factor, in the production in the agriculture sector. We are thinking at platforms where the trade can occur in a most direct way between the producer and the buyer.
Okay.
We are thinking of working with the GCCI. So for training in whatever it is, skills on the business. Then we are working in improving the crops, and we are also working in protecting the lands. For example, I'm thinking to working with our partners against the erosions of the land that is given by climate change.
Okay, that is good. I think this will be a welcoming news for our farmers in the country. It used to be a very lucrative business in the country, but out of the blues, so many people lose interest in farming. We also seen you intervening when it comes to youths of the country.
Yes.
Why the youths?
Well, youth is two things. Is a very vulnerable sector. Youth need to be trained and encouraged to remain in the country, to be part of the productive segment of the country. Youth need to grow, they need to study, they need to be protected, they need to be healthy, and they need to eat. So we are working also with the Chamber of Commerce and also the ITC. Probably you know YEP.
Yes.
And the Takifi project.
Yes.
We have invested a considerable amount.
I like it when you say the Takifi project. You know, it's a local. Yes. It's a local. I like the way you pronounce it. Can you say that again? It's Excellency.
How should I pronounce it?
No. Just say the way
Takifi.
Thank you. All right.
It's not take ifi.
Yes, thank you. Absolutely.
Okay.
Yes.
It's a big project that has many components. And with that, we provide skills and tools to the young entrepreneur to fulfill their wishes, their dreams, in a very concrete way. So we go from fashion to constructing bricks.
Okay.
We go from food crops to cosmetics. So we are trying to cover a number of items, a number of dreams, if you want, for a realization of the youth that we hope will contribute, helping to the economic growth of the country and to make the young population feel secure.
His Excellency, this is a very interesting area. You talked about youth should be encouraged to stay, to contribute to the development of the nation, to be part of the productive sector, and even they need to eat, they need to this, they need to that. This is very beautiful. But how do you intend to make this look lucrative, to make this look beautiful, that it can attract youth to stay and go into areas that you just mentioned, that is the fashion designing, the brick construction, and all whatnot?
Well, we work with them.
Okay.
If I take, for example, fashion, there are a group of women that are organizing the sector, the structure. The Gambia has an incredible luck, if you want, because the Gambia has produced the cotton in the country. So you can have from the cotton to the weaving to the dyeing and to the production of fabrics.
Okay.
So we are following these parts in order to grow the skills, to discuss with the producer and to the technician, in order to show them that outside there is a competitive world. They need to be competitive, but they also have some skills that are unique of the Gambia.
Okay.
So these are the things that will help the Gambia to sell outside the country their products and compete with the satisfaction in a global world.
Okay.
No country is alone now. We are all outside, and we need to survive. We need to trade, give and take, and the balancing should be always in the favor of the country.
Okay. This question might sound a little bit sarcastic, but then, His Excellency, you think this is possible?
I do. I think it is possible. I don't think that it is a thing that will be achieved in short time, because it's changing of a culture. Where there are traditions also, and I come from a very traditional country. The changing is more difficult than in country with no tradition, because they just absorb.
Okay.
But so here is a process that you have to put in motion. And when the process has reached the momentum, then it will go by itself.
Okay. Thank you so much. Youth will be hopeful that this is possible, and it's even from the partners who are definitely contributing to see youths of this country excel. We'll be moving on to remind you, if you're just tuning in, we are live at our home Digital FM 99.9 here in Brikama, and also on Mengbe Kering TV. Excuse me, this morning. And our guest is the European Union ambassador to the Gambia. So we are very much happy to have you out there. We've seen your comments, and yes, we have at least a bunch of people following the program, both on the television and radio. So we want to thank you. Your presence is felt. So thank you so very much. Yes, His Excellency, there is another area that recently became a global problem, climate change. How do you intend to work with the government of the Gambia to make strategies as to how to cope with climate change?
Yes. Well, we are cooperating with the government on the Gambia. The government of the Gambia is quite concerned about the climate change, and rightly so.
Yes.
As you know, we all participate to a global conference that is called COP, Conference of the Parties. This will be the 26th. It is now in the United Kingdom. This episode, and the Gambia will be represented like any country in the world. The climate change affects Gambia in many things.
Okay.
Rain, water supply, erosion of land, and final salification of the river, and so on and so forth. We work a little bit in all these sectors. For example, against the erosion, we have started the project of planting mangroves in order to. The mangroves are excellent in keeping the land where it is, and protecting it from the tides. But then we have also, I was mentioning before, we are in partnership with Gambian partners on, for example, finding the right crops that can be resilient to the climate change.
Okay.
We are working in protecting the land, but we are also working in the training of people against the climate change. The climate change, it may seem strange to say, but we work in the climate change, including when we do the wrestling project, because communities must remain close to one another. They must understand together what is the challenge ahead and be able to work together.
Okay. Yes. Fortunately, that was going to be my next project, because we understand you are into some cooperation with the wrestling community in this country. Someone might wonder, why don't the European Union invest into football or into basketball, athletics, but why wrestling?
But wrestling is a very important part of the Gambian community, I understand.
Okay.
It's a very traditional sport and gathers youth in big numbers. Also, it takes a lot of youngsters out of the street. The National Wrestling Association is very concerned about this, and they are very instrumental in keeping the youth focused and purposed.
Okay.
And we like to help this, because a young person that remains focused is a person that will go ahead in his life and will feel that he's part of a society. And when he feels that he's part of the society, he will be more understanding of the need of the society.
Okay. Thank you so much, His Excellency. Mbadung lahani bidrong kana kiublande ko albela moikang home Digital FM della 99.9 mimfilale Brikama atul benjube kang Mengbe Kering TV. Kunga fono nyamen kacha kumasi dula European Union wolong Europe la kafuba ila ambassador bi wolon na lunta wati bi mimbe denni ngaranga kacha kulla European Union in Gambia e nyonsoto nyaadile ay wo fojanne anim fanan itulke blodum fanajuma pour Gambia fasa kacha commencé dula kuma jamal futaje barika kuma la sudia kamatron itul kam mam fanal mina wolon kaje ko senora fanna agriculture ika demaro ke jele aytandi fanko watu sitale isaje ko molle miro fale mimbe den ding sama dola fandala akana ke dron ika doku ika domo bari sekono kuti men ko isa doku no ika fintindi ika wafi ika balwo soje wonu fannal ti mialon ko e blodu wo konole annun kunum fang aytandi ko atate la nako do to mialon ko to le bloba koto mian ko jabolle ka doku je aninga kudol wo fanan nata nga tankola fanna jube security bawo nale na fanka nying mazakunda fawla kol noma amukul timelon ko ya kumanje bake wolon ka security sector reform ka falindiro ke tankola fannal ako ning mazakunda bolo nyo bulle andunga sign ne ajube ika sojarol polisol ning navy aninga mobe kantar bladro ike karandile saje ko ise londo soto andim fanan wokono ise hadawadi mu fanan nyantol long biringani ninka fu mun kolle akulle soto je ako amukulti mian ko fase watindinta kadum wo sako amila fannala wo ami kilingo wolle ben nun masakunda ko mialon ko tajirte masakunda lo wo ami kilingo le fanana ka democracy democratic government katara wo ko woto ay do ko do nyinin kale wo fanan kono natanga climate change wala nyim falim min ka ke al hawa kono aytanni ko kulo mialon ko ay dunya bele dew bara ay gambe fanan batandile fanal jumala senora fan samala fanna neajube minu ye gambia long minu ye tare ko long kunun samaka kenu nyame anin bi afatata wo kono fanan anin banko fanan aka banko nyim patande aka banko la kengo be kata safa erosion wo fanan pulti mi an ko ka ferol landi indin kafudol ka je ko e be wol falena no nyaadile atara fam foy commence ka fenko lo yirol lo mankol mi an ko ate abirada bake pour ka banko muta isaje ko niji fonata banko la kengo buka borino nga fanna do fanan jibe medending fondinke la fannala ay fofo jam mimu yepti youth empowerment project aning take fee project take fee sur account lo bari mbinga wolo yetara jang ye fanno jang ini wolbe nyokono le kaje ka fonninkiel mako e surtout ay façon fole jemudulati mialon ko Gambia manta benta wotole bawo ku jama bi mialon ko akata indo façon abe ka sodo no janne woto wati sitale saje ko se Gambia fana mako e akana danjana ma bari Gambia ka fu dunia kan londo mbijang ka fintindi banta pour que munafang ala je nara fana dulal jube mimbe dending le projet ko do solo ko ye nyoboring areno do fasa buffer zone ngayini ka munati na nyoboro bara min tan di wolem ko nkay ko munana alman dum football to alman basketball wala boro barako ni nyoboro jube ada ko wolo andum mun laftala janne aka fondinkel ka fondinyo kanne akoni ajube nyoboro fanka na fondinki jama ka bo silol kan ye dum nyoboro kono ike fanna faje andum ada kuolem wala tin ye bulo dunje ana fananko the National Wrestling Association wol nyinko yatani sobe yalla wala tin to fana ni bulo du nyobulu ka je ko ka wo fanan fasa your excellency, this was just a brief summary of what we discuss here in English so our Mandinka listeners can also understand what is being said here, because this is something that really affects everybody. I call it AIDS. You are either affected or infected. You cannot avoid it. Yes, because looking at these areas, I think they are very, very important. Which we talked about the security. No nation can develop without security. We talked about agriculture. We talked about the youth empowerment and all whatnot. Now we'll look at the area still on the areas of the youth empowerment. Yes, YEP is here, the Take a Fee project is here. But then, how is the reaction of the youth towards this project? Are they coming in to get access to the funds that are being provided for youth? Are they coming in to get access to the training that is being provided for the youth in the different areas that they are taking part in?
We have trained almost 5,000 boys and girls.
Okay.
It's all these projects with the youth are extremely successful. We are working, and while you were talking, I just remembered another project that I visited recently, and it's a project where the young women here in the greater Banjul area are learning to install and fix solar panels.
Wow.
That is also part of the fight against the climate change. And not only that, we are giving skills to these girls.
Okay.
And they are extremely excited about this project. And not only, but we have already released some of the ladies have finished the training and are already working. The youth normally believes as a strong commitment in whatever is skill acquirement. And I'm thinking also to the skills of makeup artist. I'm thinking about tailors. I'm thinking about, we cover a lot of activities, and in any of these activities, we have a very strong participation. And the authorities are also very supportive of this. The Ministry of Education, for example, is one of our top partners. We believe very much in education. I remember, I'm not so young anymore. My mother used to tell me, if you know a second language, you will be fine with your life. Because in my time, if you knew a second language, you were fine. But Gambians already speak at least 2 or 3 languages already. But the world has moved on and is very competitive, and they need to learn skills. And they do, and they want to do it. And we are very happy to help there.
A particular youth listening to us or watching us live right now, wanting to take part, wanting to be trained, want to acquire funds, to learn a skill or whatever, what do the person needs to do?
When they want to be trained or learn skills, they just approach one of the many partners that we have.
Okay.
And they request to do part of the program. Of course, there is a screening process. You need to have some basic skills to improve. Okay. There are also programs where when somebody has no skills, can have basic skills. So it's just approaching one of our main partners.
Okay. His Excellency, would it be right to say that the EU is the biggest funding partner for the Gambia?
The EU is the biggest funding partner, not only for Gambia, but for Africa in general.
Why? Do we have the statistics? Do we have the arguments where we can base that we are the biggest funding partners for Africa and the Gambia, inclusive?
Yeah, there are statistics. There is a centralized mechanism at the UN level where of course, they make these studies, and we are by far the biggest donor in the world. And not only that, but most of our program works on grant, not on loans. Okay. So basically, our money with no strings attached. They're free.
Okay. Thank you. Let's look at food security. Yes, producing food is one. You are encouraging both the women and the youth to go into farming, and you want to encourage them improve the farming mechanism so they can start whatnot. What extra that they will be selling to make income. Food security, what measures are you taking to make sure there is food security in this country?
I think that the measures to be taken in general are a lot.
Okay.
You have to tackle climate change, as we said, and you have to tackle education, but also providing with the right kind of vegetable, for example. Diversification of production is a very important factor. Studying the climate is a very important factor. And training is a very important factor. Beyond that, of course, there are also other actions, but then we don't talk about food security anymore. We talk about food emergency, where we are also involved. But this is luckily not the case of the Gambia.
Okay. That is good. Looking at all the areas that we talked about so far, they are more or like interconnected. One cannot go without the other. So I can really see sense in how the EU is coming in to support the country. Yes, you talked about the EU being the Gambia's biggest donor, up to a point that the monies you give out is on a grant, not a loan, no strings attached, it's free. We remember 2017 or 18 to be precise, that big conference that took place in Belgium, where the European Union made pledges of a whole lot of money for the Gambia. When the news broke out, everyone was celebrating in his country. Tell us a little about that conference and the pledges, how everything went about.
So the Gambia and the new government of the Gambia,
Yes.
and President Barrow and the European chair, they organized this conference in Brussels. It was a conference for the new Gambia, where the democratic transition was highlighted, where the hopes were raised, etc. So what we did is to organize the possible partners, the funders, funding members, and a total pledge. It's not European pledge only.
Okay.
European Union pledge only was, as you said, 1 billion, etc.
1.8 billion.
1.8, yes. The European Union has promised has pledged a certain amount of money, and that was respected in relation to the pledge.
Okay.
Some of the donors didn't live up with the expectation, but also there is still in the country a margin of improvement for the absorption of the money, because you need also capacity to absorb. Things must occur rapidly, etc., etc. So I think that the donors who pledged the money are still around.
Okay.
The need is to show that the Gambia can spend rightly the money that we give. As far as the European Union is concerned, we are completely happy with what we are doing here and in the way that we wanted to address the issues and spend our money. So, as you know, we have two ways of approaching our intervention. One is the budget support, which is where money are channeled through the state budget, and they are earmarked for certain projects, or the so-called project approach, whereby we create a project and we go directly with the partners and we channel the funds via the partner, specific partner for that project.
Okay. Donors who have not fulfilled their pledge, we want to call on you to support. Yes, Your Excellency.
Please.
Who needs to knock on their doors? Is it the Ghana government or the European Union?
Oh, the world. Because there were not only European Union.
Yes, no, I understand. It was the Gambian president and the European Union chairman who initiated the conference. Yeah. Now we have pledges from not even in Europe, other parts of the world.
Yes.
European Union fulfill their part. These don't. We want to find a way out.
No, bilateral.
We need that money, Excellency.
No, the Gambia is in this situation, specific situation. The Gambia is, let's say, in need of specific partners and specific funding. The Gambia so far is not has a lot of needs in a transition country. And the donors are only instrumental to try to speed the things up. Okay. But the Gambia is still in the lead of the situation. So I can make a call here for our friends to fulfill their promises.
Please go ahead and fulfill.
I'm sure it will be. I'm sure it will be.
Thank you so much, His Excellency. Another very important sector which we'll be treating, and I guess that's going to be our final discussion. It's 2021. It's an election year for the Gambia. We all know elections are usually, I don't know in the other parts of the world, but in Africa, it's a very tense period. In fact, the Gambia, it has started being tense when even the nominations are not done yet. The European Union and the Gambia, when it comes to election, especially when it comes to election observation, how do you go about that?
Well, the Independent Electoral Commission invited us to come over and with the monitoring mission. So we will have experts from the European Union that will join experts. Let's not forget that we are not alone here. There are members of the region that are also doing the same job, and other friends around the world that they come to certify the elections of the Gambia. So our monitoring will be a classic monitoring to certify that the elections were free and fair. At the end of any monitoring mission, there will be a recommendation, even if the recommendation can be a couple or 2 or 3 or 4, not so much, and that's it. We trust that the election in the Gambia will be fair and democratic, fair and fair. So we are just helping the country to certify it to the world. It is a very important election because it is the first election in a democratically carried out.
Yes, after 22 years.
After 22 years.
Yeah.
So it's very important for the world. Gambia may be a small country, but is an extremely important country.
Gambia may be a small country, but it's an extremely important country, says His Excellency. Looking at all these areas that you are partnering with the government of the Gambia, how satisfied is the EU?
Of partnering with the Gambia?
Yes.
Well, any friendship has its good moments and less good moments. I think that our cooperation.
I like a part. Less good moments, not bad. Nothing is bad.
Nothing is
just
bad.
Less good.
No, because any country has its historical and political moments. We are in a constant dialogue with our partners. So, and that is what is most important. And two partners may also agree to disagree in some issues of their relationship. But the important is that they continue to speak. Because even between two human beings that may know each other as well, but sometimes you don't like what your friend has done, and you have to tell him. And this is what happens to the Gambian counterpart towards us, and this is what happens from us towards the Gambia. But in general, our relationship is extremely good. Is a relationship that works.
Was there any moment where the European Union says, we regret partnering with the Gambia?
No, absolutely no.
Okay. Yes. You preceded His Excellency Lahos, who left not long ago. What were his recommendations when you came, in the handing over? How happy was he about the Gambia?
Well, if you
or you just stepped in and it was like, get prepared. Gambia is difficult. Gambia is this and that and that. Or it was just sweet-coated that, man, you're taking over a very beautiful place and things like that. How was it like?
With me, we didn't speak very much because to the predecessor and the successor, they never overlap.
Okay.
So I arrived that he left 2 months before.
Okay.
So we spoke a little bit by telephone. I asked him some advice, and but maybe there is one thing that I can say how satisfied he was with the Gambia. He requested and obtained to stay 1 year more.
Wow.
So he was in love with the Gambia. He may have been loud. I know that I've been told that he was very outspoken.
Oh yes.
But he stayed 5 years. Normally our tenure is 4 years, and he asked to stay 1 year more, and he stayed 1 year more.
One thing I know, he had been very much media friendly, and we hope that you will replicate that link between the European Union and the media.
I hope it too. I know that my predecessor used to do a breakfast with the press.
Yes.
On a regular basis. Unfortunately, with the COVID, our guidelines are very clear. This has been suspended. But I'm planning to re-establish it as soon as the condition allow.
Maybe you'll do lunch. He was doing breakfast. You'll do lunch with
or dinner.
Dinner.
Dancing dinners. Come with the partners.
Okay, very interesting. We are about coming to the end of the interview. It had been very interesting, to be honest, to have you with us, discuss with us all that the European Union has to do with the Gambia. And I think our listeners and viewers have learned a lot from the discussions that we have here and the beautiful partnership that have been existing between the Gambia and the European Union. I'm sure you must have prepared yourself for a particular question, and possibly I have not asked that question. What was that question? What was in your mind that you wanted to share? And I have not asked that question.
I think that perhaps what I would like to your spectator, how do you say,
listeners and viewers, yes,
and viewers understand is that the European Union is a long-term partner, and it will be here forever. I mean, at least until the Gambia will want it. So it's a long-term relationship that needs to be nurtured as it is, and that can improve for sure. But it's here to stay. We are friends of the Gambia, and we will remain friends of the Gambia for forever. I mean,
wow. Okay. That is beautiful. It's like the European Union is very happy with the Gambia. So we also hope and pray that the Gambia government is equally happy with the European Union, because two partners, we should all be happy that we have this connection. Your how would I call it? Your line ministry, the ministry that you will be connected to mostly should be the foreign ministry.
yes.
How is your relation with the foreign minister?
Oh, I see them very often.
And, is he nice to you?
Oh, it's very nice. His welcome was very warm. We spent some time together is a very very welcoming person. And for the daily job that we have, because we have daily job, we have also two very friendly and competent permanent secretaries that are working with us, and I don't say on a daily basis, but when the need be. As members of the United Nations, United Nations make us a lot of work, create a lot of work, because there are votes at the United Nations, and of course there is a communication that has to be established in relation to these issues. No, they want to know where do we stand? We want to know where do they stand, etc., etc. So it's a daily job. I remember some time ago I was in a seminar where I said that we are equal partners, and I was objected. How can you say that you're equal partners? Etc., etc. And I said, yes, in a global world, we are equal partners. Okay. When I say that Gambia is very important, Gambia has one vote at the United Nations. Okay. China, Russia, Italy, or United States have one vote. Okay. So it doesn't matter the size of the country, but the political importance on the global stage is as important as anybody else.
Okay. Beautiful. His Excellency, we want to thank you so much for your time. We really enjoyed your company, and I hope you also enjoyed our company.
Indeed.
Yes. What will be the final message to the Gambians, the Gambia government, the European Union, the world? What will be your final message to everyone listening and viewing right now?
Well, I think that elections are important always in every country. It's a moment where people must really understand that they are the fundamental part of a democratic process. So go and vote. This is my message. We will watch, and I think that the citizens of the Gambia, they must realize that democracy is in their hand, not only for the election, but every single day.
Wow. Thank you so very much. Of course, every good thing must come to an end. This is where we're going to draw the curtains for this very special broadcast with His Excellency CORRADOPAMPALONI, the European Union Ambassador to the Gambia. We want to thank him so much for his time. We want to thank you too for taking your time to watch the program. And those of you listening to the program, we want to thank you so much. This is all we have for you on this special broadcast. I had been your presenter, Aliou Fall. We want to thank the European Union Embassy staff for safely bringing us His Excellency. We hope drive safely, take him home safely, and so that he can get to work and do what is just right. Honorable, His Excellency, I forgot to ask. You've been here since January. What unique thing do you see about the Gambia? Is it about the people, the food, anything, something unique that you think you love about the Gambia?
I don't want to be banal, but the Gambia is the smiley coast of Africa. I think that what strikes me of the Gambia are the people. The people. People are extremely gentle, and well disposed towards the world, and I like this very much.
Thank you. All right, that is it. He likes the people. He loves you. So keep being the smiling coast of Africa. Bye-bye.
What do you think? It's gone?
Home Digital FM 99.9 in Brikama Town. For all the businessmen and women, move out of the darkness, follow the light. Come sell your business with us today. Home Digital FM, let your customers know what you're offering. Be on top of your competitors. Home Digital FM, we will help you stand out. Come advertise with us today for all your businesses. We offer live program coverage both on Facebook Live and on the radio. Talk soon. source to sell your products and services. The media is in control. Tell your customers when, where, and how to meet you through Home Digital FM. Don't worry. Do your business. We will sell you out. Call us today on 734-3125 or 200.
Ndula. Londol ni mirol ni hakilol bebe ben na jannatu.
Ebe ba dépense la. E muso dépense.
Ba juma.
Muso wulu.
Andu ñing sali ngay sali je ñame sali
hewo bay ku do dum na
hewo soto da daw sali
sali nya jata eko Sadio la ñadi
yalo ngi jalo ko bari mi yoku yala ni mi mba ko ra ni wa gabala Sadio kino ko kuna
Are you unable to tune into our radio frequency from where you live? Don't worry, the problem is over. Simply download Home Digital FM radio app on your Android phone or devices including laptops or computers from Google Play Store or App Store and enjoy listening to excellent broadcasts from your number one radio station in the Gambia, Home Digital FM Radio. Don't miss your favorite programs from Home Digital FM app, even from whereas with limited mobile networks. In fact, using the app does not use much megabytes. Home Digital FM, the voice.
Mbadingolu ñimmu kibarol te mi yalon ko akabonan Sheikh Alhaji Karamba Suwane le bulu Madina Suwane wole ko abatandila talibol mume bela kanuntelu muslimolu be dawoda ko sawo sande akaziare ba minke ala sate to Madina Suwane ko nyinam fanan asita la manjamfa ning ala sonta ning October karo minadu na min kono atidi mo anin nano dimanche dongo wala be kala ziare batu mi yalon ko abe kala Madina Suwane dol safo gamo wala talibol be dawoda kanontel be dawoda muslimol be dawoda kabirin Gambia la nyaton kolu Senegal la nyaton kolu Guinea Bissau nyaton kolu Mauritanie nyin kibaro futata dawoda Sheikh Karamba Suwane wala be kumandirola according ala sonta October karo atidimo anin nano wala be kala la ziare bati gamo mi yalon ko ate fongre katamba nyato Madina Suwane wala Suwane kundan ko be dawoda anin talibol be dawoda albunya bije nyin kana fo mo koma bayre Madina Suwane duwa jabi dulalo andum fanan se ala haji Karamba Suwane akabe nyin kibaro futandila kibar bungulu bela min yalon ko be Gambia Guinea Bissau anin Guinea Conakry kata fo Mauritanie koy bese fero ke isema be nyindula to bayri nyinan duwal be la falale andun duwa balle fanan be kalaje yo kibaro kabo min fango bulu wala mun karamo mati Alhaji Sheikh Abdallah Karamba Suwane Madina Suwane alman be ni yosi